we join back in with our adventurers after last week. The For Ichi, Dante, and Volu had collected the necessary ingredients and equipment and headed over to Demetrius's place, while Eleni, after having a brief conversation with High Priest Arcaner and getting some well-needed rest, has decided to go and meet up with them to assist in the event, and is only moments behind. We left off as they entered the large, almost imposing basement of Demetrius's tower. Within it, two magical circles, one inside the other, and things were about to begin.
Before stepping in, I want to do something before stepping in. Yeah, like you can carry and describe. Just I don't know. I don't want you to say. So you're
stepping into the circle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So not straight away. So Demetrius at first would sort of motion over to a table and say, "Did you bring the necessary supplies?"
I shall put them on the table.
Thank you.
As long as, along with some keys, and he'd go, "Why'd you put the keys on the table?" Sorry, that was a very stupid joke.
He would.
So that went over my head there, so I missed it.
Yeah. He nods, and floating up next to him, you would see a heavy rune-etched grimoire that seems to float up, slowly flipping the pages. Anybody trying to glance at the pages see text in unknown languages, magical symbols, and other glyphs. And they say it will take me about 5 minutes to prepare the incenses and lay all the extra things around the circle. A bit faster if you are willing to help. It is simply spreading. And we will be almost ready. So, Eleni, you will sort of be arriving to the door as this is going on. They start sort of grinding things and preparing things, and as they sort of finish a bowl, they'll hand it off to one of you and just say, sprinkle this on the outer circle, sprinkle this on the inner circle. They're sort of giving different instructions. Dante, they just sort of motion for like a seat to the side for you to just sort of sit down in for now. While this is going on, the golems just mill about, and Eleni, as you get to the front door, the quill appears. There's another one.
Good afternoon.
You here for the big event?
I am. Is everyone already here?
They are. Are you sure you want to go in there? It could get dangerous.
I think I can handle danger.
Very well. They are waiting downstairs, and the door will swing open. You will see again.
Can I do? I don't know if this would be an insight.
You can drop an insight if you want.
I'm trying to work out if I think there is. I think I assumed that the quill was some kind of mechanical spell-like thing, but now I'm wondering if there's an actual personality behind it, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 22.
Definitely personality. Last time it was snappy and grumpy and basically just like, you can't come in, you can't come in, you can't come in. And it was almost.
But I thought that was almost like a recorded thing.
This is it. It was giving you that robotic feel. The voice that you're getting now is not the same.
And it's not Demetrius's voice.
No. And you also, with that insight, would pick up, I would say, that the mention of danger, there was no like ominous feeling from it. It was almost excitement in, they've seen these before and they're interested to see how this one goes.
It was interesting, the whole, are you sure you want to? And it might get dangerous. As I was like, I wouldn't have expected the quill to ask me that at all. It seems a bit odd.
Yeah, it's almost, you gathering from the inside, there's almost like the facade for visitors that they want to shun away. But but you've seen past the wall, basically. Now you've seen and I will say, as the door opens this time, there is that of doors shutting and things moving as you were not expected as a secondary turn up just moments later. And the suit will motion down the basement stairs.
Okay. I will just follow. I will not touch anything. Stay right in the middle of the corridor.
So I'd say it's probably, as you enter down into the basement, it would probably be Dante that would see first, as the others are sort of spreading things. Dante you would see Eleni, you would come down into the room. You see the large. There's almost there's the large, thick stone walls that you would expect from a basement for a tower this size, but also almost like an unnatural pressure in the air. It's almost like the air's thick. You can see the interwoven magic circles that you can see the two, Volu and Ichi sprinkling things, and as they do, there are moments where there's little flares of light around the circle as they finish a circle of whatever substance is being sprinkled. And over in the corner, the draped in deep blue robes lined with silver inscriptions and arcane things. Demetrius over in the corner, as well as the three golems that stroll the room.
I would. Sorry, go on, Chris.
No, you go on. I had just a random question.
I was going to say I would look Dante up and down, just taking in the manacles, just sort of working out like he's still locked up. They've obviously brought him here like that, and I would look you in the eyes, but there's no smile or frown. There's like no emotion. I'm just like observing, looking you up and down. And then I would walk over towards the circle, to whoever's closest, Ichi or Volu, and just say, I'm here to help.
Dante's insight is pretty naff, but he would just, like, whilst he especially looks at Eleni, he's the entire time he hasn't exactly been happy about anything. He's still quite broken.
Yeah.
But will just kind of nod. There is actually a small sign of relief for him that he's got somebody else there.
Okay.
Thank you.
Good to have you back.
I don't think I'd leave you two alone to deal with this. There's a lot that could go wrong here.
Yeah, isn't that the truth?
Can I just ask, with the magic circles being created, how because Volu is, I know he's not one of those things.
I will.
Okay.
I'll get to that. As they're sort of moving around and beginning to finish things up, you would see that Demetrius would they would turn mostly to Dante and say, if you prepare yourselves, we will need to chain you to the center in just a moment. If there is anything you want to take in with you, it will be important you hold on to who you are in all of this.
Dante will get up and go over to just through the group, just go, have my pack. It's got the health potion. And it has a couple of random little things like spider climb potion and potion of clear liquid that moves. He took it from the temple.
Is it worth us just having those potions to hand on our belts in case?
Do as you wish. The sword. And he's going to look over towards Demetrius and he lowers his voice. Whatever happens to me, do not let them take this.
We won't. What were those potions again, Chris? Spider climb?
There was a potion of climbing, the weird fluidy liquid that he got from the
Power.
From the spinny, the time fast thing. room.
Yeah, he got.
We
He doesn't
didn't
know
know
it's a
what it was.
potion. He basically.
No, I know. I'm just loving this.
he
It's the
duped
spinny,
up some
timey
liquid.
wimey stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like it was even described as timey
It
wimey.
probably was
Yeah.
described as timey wimey. Wibbly
Well,
wobbly stuff.
it's the room where the seasons progress.
Right.
I think it's effectively. I got the impression. This is Chris.
Hmm.
Got the impression that it something like if like he cast it over something, it makes something either age or concentration fade quicker or something along those lines.
Ah, okay.
So that's a
I
guess from
see.
me. I have not identified it or anything, and neither has any of us because we don't do that.
Nope.
No.
So, but
That would be too easy if we identified it.
And you guys all have a greater healing because Arcana gave you. Was there just 2?
No, I have 2 because I have 1 left over.
Yeah,
Right.
and I've got
But
one.
Arcana gave you 1 each, didn't she?
Yeah. I also have 2 healing potions and a fire resistant.
I have 0 potions now.
well, now you've got a potion of greater healing.
I'm going to pass you a
4.
potion of greater healing.
I've already given. She's
Well,
got
if I
mine.
take Dante's,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
thank you.
So, the only 2 things that he wants. So 1 in each hand. One will be the medallion, as it were, because just in case he needs it to, if he feels like he's going to not pass a save, he's going to crush it. And in his other hand, and he will shuffle through his bag to get it, even with his hands kind of tied, will be the wood carvings of his wife and daughter. And he will walk over. He's still got the sword on his back, but I'm assuming that will be taken off him at some point. Actually, he will ask Ichi, "Can you take the sword?"
Of course. Is this a sword that it's going to be bound to?
Yes, it is his.
I'll turn to Demetrius. Does this need to stay in the circle or in the outer circle?
Within the outer circle. The hope is to have a full point separation through the circle between Dante and the tenant. Well, he wouldn't know the name, the creatures, the other creature's soul, in an attempt to stop its hopping back on or trying to latch on with any other.
Dante will go up. He's going to stand up tall and just kind of go over towards where he needs to, and he's going to try to do say something, and it is going to be an intimidation. But it's more of a kind of a reassuring intimidation because it was a thing that he had said to him before. Remember, if you try to fuck with this, we will kill you. Because I just remember him being a coward, so I just want it because I just want him to know, like, if it fails, it's actually fine. But if he tries to steal this or something, then he's going to die. That's more so like what I kind of
they'll just smile at you. They won't say anything.
Oh, suddenly he's not a coward anymore. So I don't even get to roll intimidation or anything.
It's less. There's stuff you don't know.
Okay.
He knows how this ritual plays out. You don't.
Yeah. Okay.
That's fine.
You can take insight from that if you wish. He was just not phased.
Can we all insight that?
Mine. So I don't know if I would have said it loud enough.
I will say you can all roll perceptions because you are all sort of doing stuff and prepping things, and those that see it can.
15.
I always go with I just didn't because my passive's 9. And
you were facing it, so you obviously well, you saw it, right? Like you definitely see it. You just don't. And I'm going to say you don't need to roll insight for you. I will say, Chris, you can make up in your mind what you think. The fact he's just not phased now, whereas he was before.
I rolled a 17.
Okay, so for Ayla, yeah. No, not great. So Volu, you are finishing some of the final touches on the other side of the room, sort of thing. So you're just like a good 40, 50 feet away from the what's happening. I'd say for Eleni and Ichi, you would catch a. It's almost that like
Arrogance.
Dante's not gonna be a threat. That's the vibe. And it's not like I'm going to steal the sword sort of, but you don't immediately, it's not like eyeing the sword, etc. It's almost just, it's like a child threatening him. That's the vibe he's giving right now.
You're going to be like subject of this turmoil. You're not going to be a threat.
Yeah, you're already bound and chained, and you're about to go through some fucking horrific shit. So we'll talk afterwards, and we'll see if you still. That's the vibe you're getting, right? Like talk to me once this is over, and see if you still want to fight.
I'm gonna walk up to Ichi, as if I'm walking past, and very, very quietly, just say, "I will be watching that sword like a hawk."
We all will
He's
be.
way too confident.
We'll say, now, Dante, you need to take your position in the center of the circle. As Volu, you finish, and there's a lighting of some of the runes around the edges. It isn't that you are bound, but it almost suddenly became like moving through custard, as you are slowed, and you're like, this is very weird. And you are able to make it out the circle. And the second you get out the circle, you are fine. Eleni, you were outside of the circle when it went up, but you immediately almost felt the vibrations, and your moths are like still staying inside you, but as further away from the barrier.
We don't like it.
No, not now that it's active.
Ichi's just fine.
Yeah, Ichi's not bothered by the shit. Dante, with advantage, I don't even need to keep this secret, the second that seal went up, and you're not inside it yet, but because it's obviously set to stop you leave, can you make me a charisma save at advantage, please?
Yep.
Should we not have put him in the circle before we put the magic barriers up? I mean, that would have probably made more sense.
Um, 21.
Yeah, the almost, you are sweating. There's a flame inside you. It's like almost trying to burn you from the inside out, as like, let me the fuck out or I'm going to roast all of us. And you just hold strong for a second.
Not today.
Okay, you move into the circle.
Mm-hmm.
Moving in to the center of the circle, Demetrius would motion for Ichi. If you wish to hold the sword, please take a position. They sort of motion, so there is a point in the circle where in the outer circle there's almost like extra layers of metal sort of twisted over in sigil style patterns over the edge. I won't need a roll. You've been in the room long enough and sort of been observing it. It's almost like a funneling point, if you imagine it. So the first one's just a circle. The second one is almost funneling the energy down towards a certain point. And there is a sigil on the floor that he says, if you wish to hold it, to place the sword must be in the sigil. So almost like you can either stab it straight into the ground, or you can hold it so that the tip is, but it's got to be within the like that area on the floor sort of thing.
This sword is massive, probably on Ichi, so it is that kind of just like...
We need to hammer that into the floor so that Ichi isn't stuck holding it.
With him saying that, can I roll an insight as to check whether or not he wants me to hold it? Like, will me holding it help strengthen?
I would say without rolling, he is more trying to ease your mind. He's fully aware. Like, you get the impression he's aware of the tenseness in the room.
Yep.
He's very aware that, like, obviously, dude just threatened his life. You know what I mean? Like, he's aware of the people of Paradise. He's almost trying to be like, if you want to hold it, but it needs to be in. He's sort of giving you the parameters by which you can do it your way, rather than trying to
Ichi will stab it in the ground, will not be holding it immediately, but will be, you know, like in grabbing distance if need be.
Mhm. Then they will motion for you to sort of come over and help them with the chains. The chains that they've got down to the floor are like not, it's down into like kneeling position. But the chains that they've got are like the sort of chains you would use on like a vehicle rather than a person. And they round the waist down to either side, and then the hand ones that you already have, there's like a clip into the floor with a big heavy iron bolt that keeps your hands in between your legs as you kneel, basically.
Yeah.
He
Like I
looks
said,
to the others.
still in both hands. Medallion, family.
Mhm.
That is the only thing that's going through his head. Is that is, at that point he's actually not even thinking too much about what even happens next. He's mainly thinking of his family.
Okay. The air begins to grow even thicker, and as Demetrius moves to one side, almost moving themselves outside of both circles, but standing on the edge of the outer circle, they look over to Vola and Eleni and say, I would stand back, lest what we are about to do here is unnatural. Severing
I
of
would like
souls.
to pull my bow as he's saying this. Sorry to interrupt. As
No,
he's
it's
saying
okay.
this, I'm literally getting my bow out. I'm notching an arrow. I'm getting ready to effectively hold. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm not doing it yet, but as he begins, I'm gonna cast Bless on me, Eleni, and Ichi.
Okay. The
I am
severing. Sorry, go
also.
on.
Sorry,
My bad, I
we're
jumped in.
buffing
Oh.
everything here.
So,
I am also going to. Do you gain advantage when you're in the circle anyway from any like resisting any effects?
so they have disadvantage to hit you. Magic can't cross the boundary, I believe.
Well, so does Dante gain
No.
like advantage on cool? I am going to protection from good and evil onto Dante.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, so it'll give you advantage on the
Advantage on charisma. Advantage. People have disadvantage on things. Have disadvantage on attack rolls against you. You can't be charmed, frightened, or possessed. So theoretically, right now you're good.
Okay.
Oh, big breaths.
So what we are about to
Can
do
I just
here?
do?
Shut the fuck up. I was waiting for you, bitch.
I know you were. That's right. I waited.
What we are about to do here is unnatural. The severing of souls is a violation of bonds that is never meant to be broken. If you falter, if you hesitate, both Dante and Tenebrese may be lost. Or worse, combined beyond separation.
Don't say that.
As he says this, he motions with a silver encrusted with gem dagger that seems almost ceremonial in nature over functional, but as he sweeps it through the air and begins speaking the magic language, which notably for those of you that spellcasters, not celestial and not draconic, so he's not using your average flavor of spell, and you don't recognize the language either. As they begin to speak, runes at the almost like north, south, east, west points of the circles begin to light up, igniting in a blue silver light. Arcane energy begins to ripple out almost as that pulse rips out, Dante, you light up, not into hybrid form, but on fire, as you feel now the force within inside you just trying to burn its way out. Demetrius calls out, Dante, you must be strong and hold on to yourself. Hold on to who you were before. This will not be pleasant.
I'm guessing. Am I in pain whilst this is happening? Like, am I actually on fire?
Not damage level, but yes, it's getting to that point of you're almost like in a sauna for way too long level sweating. They begin to speak, and now as they speak, they are beginning to flex in other words, and words that sometimes are common, sometimes are celestial, sometimes are Fey, sometimes are others. And the Fey ones that those of you that speak it are able to pick out, you hear from Shadowborn, flames embraced by name and force. They speak Tenebris's name, and the circles begin to flare into light. Searing golden energy slams into Dante's chest while pulling into the golden light an inky black red flame. The air begins to fill with a deep guttural howl, not Tenebris's voice, but something older, something more furious at being torn from its host. Dante, let's start with a charisma save, please. And for everybody else, can I get a wisdom save as the actual pressure of magic in here begins to
Don't forget that you guys have advantage.
You do, because you have hero feasted.
And don't forget that everyone has +3 because everyone is within 10 feet of me.
Okay, that helps a little bit. I got an 11.
And also...
and the bless.
Yeah, we have bless as well.
Thank Christ for that.
I rolled a nat 1, but then I had a 15, so 18.
What's the D4 in it?
Yeah. Oh, it's not good rolls. Luckily,
13.
What is it? We're plussing wisdom, yeah.
Yeah. So you've got advantage.
Yeah. So even with advantage, I rolled a 7, then I rolled a 1 on the D4, taking me up to 8. But luckily, I have a +9 in wisdom, so that takes me up to a 17.
That advantage, I had nat 1 the first time, and then I've rolled 15 on the next stage, so I've got 18 on the charisma save.
All saved by your thing. So sorry, we had 17 from 17 from Ichi. What was Volu's?
So I rolled a 2, and then I rolled another 2.
No.
But I've got +6 for Wiz save, +3, and then +2. So that, and then +1 for this. So that's 9, 11, 12.
Okay, and for Lenny?
So I rolled a 4 +4 is 8. Got a 3 from Ichi to 11, and then rolled a 2 to get me to a 13.
Okay, so Ichi, as the pressure builds up, Ichi, you're not being pushed back, but it almost feels like you are. If you imagine, you feel like if you stopped and relaxed, you would just be pushed backwards. There's almost like pressure on your chest, but you just brace up against it and hold, and you seem fine. For Eleni and Volu, a wave hits you, and you almost black out as Eleni, you have to pull back to not release the arrow. Volu, obviously you're not. It doesn't disrupt concentration, but it's almost like like people going through G-force blacking out sort of thing. It's like the pressure of that sudden wave of energy hitting you, but you do just about hold through. You do each take a point of exhaustion, though.
Oh God!
All of us?
No, the two that failed. Sorry.
Oh, so disadvantage on all skill checks.
Not that we're not there. We're not into it that far yet. It's
one level.
One level is in.
It's ability, isn't it?
No,
Yeah,
skills.
skill checks.
Skills, yeah.
Yeah, and then like second or
But it's not attacks and
speed.
stuff like that.
Third
it?
is save.
Yeah.
I
But it
think.
is perceptions and those kinds of things.
Yeah, so the ones that will probably be more useful.
Other than the wave of pressure and the constant stream of incantations from Demetrius, the room itself doesn't just echoes silently. The war inside Dante, not out loud, but inside his body, as your body begins to jerk violently. Red and black tendrils ripping across your body. You do now take 6 points of fire damage as the top layer of your skin begins to blister and burn. Runes on the ground almost start to pulse and flicker erratically.
There's my 10 hit points gone.
For a second, you all see almost like stretching spirit, spectral image of an Afriti just ripped as Dante in the center and this form being pulled out. As it looks this way, it's going to turn and it tries to fire off a almost firebolt that hits against the first magic circle, not able to pass the energy through. Can I get another charisma save from you, Dante, as they become aware of where they are?
Oh shit!
You still do have advantage.
I'm crushing.
Okay.
At advantage, I rolled a 7.
Okay. For Dante, you're obviously picturing your family and picturing your home and picturing focusing on the family and the home and the family and the carvings. And as you're doing so, you almost start to hear the clicking of locks in your mind as you start to slide.
18 and then roll backwards. So I had a 7 and now I just rolled a 5.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So
the room begins
Get ready
to
for a boss
tremble.
fight, folks.
The room begins to tremble as the opposing energies clash. Dante's essence burning hot like a forge. You're seeing points of Dante's actual skin now white hot, like almost as if he's made of steel and burning brightly.
I started to scream.
As that energy is being stripped away, almost as a snap, and a secondary bolt of red energy fires back down and into the form of Dante. They breathe out as they're still being chained to the floor and being ripped, as they just start screaming to the sky in Infernal. Do any of you, not Infernal, sorry, in Ignan, do any of you speak Ignan or Primordial?
Abyssal, Sylvan.
I was the only one. That was why I could speak.
Sylvan Gnomish.
And they're just calling out and calling out and calling out. Demetrius will call out to anyone in the room. If he starts trying to break or resist, have you got anything to incapacitate him? And it's just ripping sparks of red and blue energy, gold flames spiraling around the chamber, almost giving off that hot heat. For each that stood in between the outer and the inner, it is hot. Even your outer edges are starting to sort of crinkle and dry up a little bit in the center spot. And the sword that stands is also white hot, almost emanating up from the ground, where you can see the energies are gathering and pulsing into it.
Is it magic can't come out, but magic can go in? Is that how we've got this set up?
Yeah, circle on the works one way. Yeah.
Cool.
So I can cast in.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. No, go on. I still need to think.
As he says, have you got anything that can incapacitate? I've got one thing, but it's gonna hurt.
I think he's already hurting Ichi. I don't think he'll notice.
I just worry about hurting him too much, if you know what I mean.
I do.
The flames and energy begin to continue to build up. Dante and is still screaming out in the ignorant, looks down at their own hands and begins to just flame at the floor. The iron bolts, they're just continually.
We'll have to stop him or he's going to break those chains.
Firing magic downwards, continually trying to break out of the bindings.
Okay, Ichi is going to reach their hand out to the sky, which is the hand which normally wears the shield. The shield is on there, and as their hand comes out, the iris will light up, and I'm going to moonbeam down onto Dante because it forces shape changers to revert to their original form.
Okay.
So any form of like advantage that he gets from strength from being in hybrid form will be taken away.
Yeah, you won't be able to shift into your hybrid form.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't know what way we were going to do this.
Yeah. No, you're not in full control. Not like previously. So can...
And that also means
how much damage did I...
Yeah, it does some damage. And
yeah, so you need
Does
to
Tenebrese need to concentrate to hold this, or is it?
the spells you've seen it, so you know for like suggestion and things maybe, but for just firing off magic, not really.
You no longer have protection from good and evil, as it seems like it wasn't really going to help anyway in terms of being possessed, as you already are. But yeah, you need to make a Constitution saving throw.
16.
16, that does succeed, so you take half damage. You make this at disadvantage because you're a shape changer.
Better.
Fuck.
Yeah, deal your damage.
That's bullshit.
Okay, so you can't currently, because you've succeeded, you can still shift form. It's only when you fail do you get forced to revert. But you take half damage. Oh, come on, roll better. You take 7 points of radiant damage.
And as that beam bolts down, anything from Volu or Eleni as things are...
I mean, we're not trying to damage him, are we? I'm
not necessarily.
Just trying to keep Tenebrese gone.
I mean, I could whack him about a bit.
We don't want to go in there, though.
I feel like anyone who would deserve it would be you.
No, if you think of any... If you think of anything...
No, but like spells-wise, I can just...
Yeah. You see Demetrius grit their teeth, and as that beam hits down, they scream out, "You are not the vessel! You are just in a shell!" And they'll pull on the energy again as another charisma save with advantage from Dante, because you are still Heroes Feasted.
Yes. Oh, am I included if I lose my 10 hit points? Or is it?
Yeah, it doesn't go if you... Yeah, it's not like a...
Happy days. Oh, thank fuck for that. 18.
All of a sudden, you come rushing back. The locks were just closing around, and for a second, the light was closing as the fire breaks through, almost as a jagged bolt of raw elemental force slams down onto Dante, separating from Tenebrese once again as that magical energy, the shadowy form, begins bouncing around the barrier, hitting against things as that energy pulls it through the first wall, almost like through like a pinhole, into the second forces again. Ichi, can you give me a dex save? As all of a sudden this red just round the inside, trying to escape as it bounces between the two walls now.
I'm just as that's kind of pulled out of me, I'm just going to be shouting, "I am in control!"
And as they were sort of ripped from, the full middle circle fills with smoke, almost as if a large fire has been doused.
Yeah, that was a 10 on dexterity.
Ooh.
Ooh.
We're all outside both circles, aren't we?
I'm in the outer one.
You're in the outer one. Okay.
Yeah.
Because that's where the sword
he's
needs to
staying
be.
near
That's
the
where the
sword,
sword
yeah.
is.
You take
Don't worry
11
about it.
points of fire damage as
Ooh.
each of you see this energy bouncing around. It just passes through you, and you just feel like the heat of a fire elemental spirit rips through your center as it just.
Can I ask a technical question?
Mhm.
How is Tenebris's magic getting out of the inner circle?
It was pulled. That's why you noticed it was pulled like right through like a pinhole.
Right. Okay.
So,
Sorry. I misunderstood when you said that earlier. That's
yeah,
okay.
almost through design that spot that it can leak out of. The
I
Demetrius
succeeded my
Gris-
Constitution saving throw for concentration.
No worries. And as it's bouncing around each, you notice that on every pass, it's getting harder to get away from the sword's side of it. It's almost like trying to get to the other side and then being pulled back around, and then it's like you're seeing it like ripping and then getting closer. Demetrius shifts some of the language in the spell, and you would see that the inner circle, almost like a secondary magic circle, sealing it both in and out. So Dante is now like can't leave, and nobody that's elemental can get in either. As they're going, they're gonna try. So Ichi, as they're going past, for a second, the form of Tenebris appears in spectral form, and they fire a scorching ray. One of the bolts goes towards you for a 19 to hit.
It hits.
For 10, 11 points of damage.
11.
The other two bolts fly towards the sword that is in place.
Can I use my body to fucking shield them as I was not moving, but like I will take all 3 beams?
Oh fuck.
Okay,
For
so
the
I'm gonna
first beam,
say
I succeed on my con.
you jump in the way, putting your body in the as you see, he almost curved them towards you as you see those second two slow and shift targets. You jump in the way. Luckily for you, the second of the two misses completely and almost over your shoulder, like almost glancing up off your shoulder plate as it leaves the area. The second one was on direct line and hits you dead center chest as you take that blow. Twelve points of fire damage.
12 points of fire damage. That would get. Yeah, succeed. Cool.
Okay.
As soon as I see like all of that happening, I am going to be shifting the moonbeam to not be directly on Dante, so that Dante's not getting blasted by it. Only if it looks like Dante's starting to lose control again will I shift it back.
I was about to ask this. If he, is he now like kind of out of me, so I'm now not being burnt to fuck, or am I still linked?
He's still in you, isn't he?
Yeah, it's not
You
separated.
still feel linked, and it's not. So if you imagine before, it felt like you were in the middle of a bonfire. You're now just still burning hot. Like it doesn't feel like you're still in the fire, but with your eyes closed and you just, you're focusing, you're just picturing your family, you're just focusing on all that, but your skin still feels white hot. And you still support. Actually, give me an insight as I continue with the others. As it continues to bounce around, it seals down into the tip of the sword.
14.
And begins the sword itself begins to glow as you see the energy moving down further towards the hilted point. 14. You do still feel white hot. You're not sweating anymore.
What's that?
Can everybody give me a strength saving throw, please? As all of a sudden the entire basement rumbles. Dante, you're fine. You're changing 4. The entire basement rumbles. Almost, you would recognize an earthquake.
22.
What things have we got? We got
strength saving.
Strength
We've got
plus
bless.
plus 3.
You would see Demetrius stumbles and does fall for a second, landing on his knee hard, but continuing up the incantation. Just
My 22 was without bless and without the +3, so it's actually
yeah,
25 with a
No, 15.
We said 50 then.
50.
I just
Yeah.
thought you'd just be like, there's Emma saying, "Oh, I got 25."
I got 25.
Plus that, you're like, well, fuck you, 50.
Holding out for the good night for saves, I feel.
That is. That's +1 is 2, 5. 13.
Okay, so Volu, as the cavern rumbles, you are not injured at all, but you are knocked prone as you fall down to the side, sort of being rolled over towards the wall. Eleni and Ichi managing to stay firm. Ichi. So Eleni, you will notice that the temperature in the room just went up. The whole room, not just from the circle.
Okay.
But Ichi, as the sort of energy of Tenebris is like ricocheting in, there's almost like the whisper of like, now you'll see, as it seals. And as there's a second rumble, a crack in the wall, but flames rip out of it as you realize that the earthquake is not natural in nature. Demetrius is holding to the point as the thing rumbles. I must hold this for a second. Is the sword still in place? Yep.
Although I'm prone, can I cast Gust to push the sword down and make sure like it's staying in?
Yeah. Yeah. You give it a down on top and it just centers it.
At that point, and hearing whatever the fuck whisper I just heard, Ichi is going to grab the sword and will full body wrap around. I am then going to use my vines to full on sword in the stone this thing, and I'm basically I am Grooting this. I am just going to encase myself around it.
I was actually thinking a snaring strike, but that's better. Yeah.
You take 4 points of fire damage as the sword itself sears into your skin as you grip hold of it. The vines spurt out of you and begin to wrap it up and begin sinking down, even as they are doing, catching a light and burning away on the heat of the weapon. I am going to say let's enter a moment of Inish.
A moment of Inish.
A moment of Inish. Oh, that's
how's that
good.
scarier than just entering initiative? You're like, ugh.
It's a 19 for Eleni.
+3 from
what
me
on
as
initiative?
well. Yep.
Oh, 22.
Dante can, but you're in a big plume of smoke, so you can't, and you're bound still, so you still.
That's what I mean.
Are we all doing this?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, please.
Yeah, I have Aura of the Sentinel, which is a Watcher thing, which is basically any ally within 10 feet of me also gains my charisma to their initiative.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
I got 10.
21.
Wait, what? I'm confused.
Plus your initiative.
So roll
plus
initiative
3.
and add
You get
3.
+3 on your Inish.
Right, instead of, because I've got +2 on initiative, so it's +3 instead.
No,
you
get
add it as
+5.
well.
Oh, sweet.
It's the 3 from
as well
each,
as.
on our rolls. It's that.
So I have +7. But that's it. I have a -1 dexterity. I have +7 because I have the alert feat giving me +5, and then it's +3. I'm slow. I just quick at reacting.
Slowly, what you on?
All right. I'm trying to figure out what I've actually got on this. I rolled a 14. Can you help me add up what I've got?
+5.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
19. Yeah, I was getting confused with we got blessed, we got.
Yeah.
Bless doesn't work on initiative, so it was
you're
just
all
the
good.
+3.
Thank you.
Hey, Lenny.
19. No, 22 because of the +3.
Oh, lovely.
Makes sense that I'm bottom of the pile, really.
Yeah.
I can't see and I'm bound, so.
Yeah.
So, Eleni, you are up first.
Okay.
And as you look, there is a crack beginning to form from the corner of one of the walls, but it's almost like cracking up and along as if it's trying to split the room.
Okay.
Like it's trying to split the rings.
The magic.
Can I see any kind of creature, or is it just cracking the?
It just seems like there's an earthquake happening.
Okay, I am going to preemptively use a bonus action to cast Ensnaring Strike, just at first level. And then I'm going to hold a longbow. I'm going to hold my longbow and I'm going to aim it at this crack in case something comes out there.
Okay. Ichi, as you dig this sword in and hold it in, it does slowly start to cool, and you will hear Demetrius call out to you, "Just one moment longer."
Ichi is going to close their eyes and kind of just like really fortify themselves, and I'm going to use my action to put 20 points of healing of lay on hands back into myself, as I am currently like just below half, so I'm just going to bump myself back up.
Okay,
Nice.
you're continuing to hold on.
Continuing to hold on.
Okay, you take another 6 points of fire.
Cool.
Ichi's he's having a worse time at this than Dante's.
Here's your tank.
All I've been thinking is,
more than
why the
happy
hell
to.
did I not give you the fire resistant as soon as you grabbed the sword? Like the retrospect is just like, for God's sake,
Ichi
come
just
on.
leans back and opens their
Hindsight.
mouth. Put it in. Ha! Help me.
So, Volu, it is your go.
Can I unpro myself and try and give him some fire resistant?
So you can definitely throw him the potion. Your issue that you've got is that if you enter that first circle, you won't. Well, actually, no, you can leave it. You just go really slow, like you get slow motion, basically half speed. So if you want to, you can do.
How far am I away from Ichi?
He's within 10 feet because you're within getting his bonuses.
Okay,
so you can definitely get to him and give him the potion, but I don't think you'll get out this turn, if that makes sense.
Can he just put his hand through the barrier?
No, because they didn't put the sword like right near the edge of the.
I got
there's a
little
10-foot
hands.
there's a 10-foot
Little
space in
arms.
between the two barriers.
I got a big head and little arms. I'm not sure how
But
well.
yeah,
this
you can
plan will
definitely
start
get to
room.
Ichi, and I would say you can use your action to administer the potion to him, especially as he's willing.
He's like,
But yeah,
Is
you
the smoke
won't
still
have.
on?
The smoke is still up. It's almost like if you imagine the smoke's like trapped as if it's elemental still within it, so it's just pluming upwards. So if you imagine like the amount of smoke that would have filled this room is just in the central cylinder.
The reason my question for that is, can they see each other, like able to do it?
They're all on the same side. They were all within 10 foot of each.
it's like smoke and then you smoke.
Okay. I thought it was all in Ichi's ring. That was all.
No, the smoke's in your ring.
Smoke's
sorry.
in your ring.
Oh, okay, cool. Sorry, apologies.
So we might not be able
It
to
just
see you
sounds
very
so
well
wrong.
right now.
No one currently can see Dante, and Dante, you can't see anything out.
But we can hear Dante going, "Oh, I'm toasty."
And for the first time, Dante, I will say, your mind is pretty clear. But yes, Volu.
Yeah, so I will. Yeah, I shall do that, and then I'll. What can I do as a bonus action? Can I hold it? What can I do as my bonus action? Oh, not too much in this.
You got any spells?
Not ones that are effective right now. I mean, don't know. I'll say to Ichi, are you holding out? Do you need anything else? Like, do you want me to do you want me to give you sanctuary? Do you want me to what? Do you need anything from me?
Then you just use your action to give him the potion.
Yeah, but I can
Yeah,
bonus
but
action.
he's just asking. Yeah.
I should be fine, thank you, Volo. Just be prepared for anything.
Okay, and then I'll turn to trudge back out.
Okay. Okay, as you begin trudging back out, there's another rumble of the room. If everybody can make me another strength save. Those that saved last time are on advantage. Each of you've got advantage because you're like nailed into point with all your stuff.
And I'm just locked in the same spot, so I don't need to roll.
You don't need to roll.
Oh my god.
Did I save or did I fail because I went to
that's the
prone?
one that it's the one that you fell down on.
So you still
22.
get the bless and the +3.
Yep.
Yes.
God.
Ooh,
Demetrius this time manages to hold his footing.
total of 20.
I'm just going to yell out, I think it's working.
15.
Good.
Peachy.
Hold on, Dante. I got 21.
Okay, all of you holding out this time as the crack
22.
does try to stretch up. However, this time you see Demetrius finishes the hand there, and you would recognize they cast a spell. Like just up at the top corner. There's a ripple as it does seem to dispel some sort of magical effect that was happening.
Ooh. Is that a dispel magic, maybe?
They will sort of look a little concerned. Did that thing have allies?
We don't
We
know.
assume so.
We saw it have little firelight friend.
Was it?
Wasn't the
No,
cause?
literally fire like
Yeah, it was like little balls of flames. And Demetrius will say, I need a minute, and they will rush. The sword is fine. You will need to clear the smoke. And they will rush over. They start trying to prepare something. And as you're speaking, little balls of flame outside of the magic circle do start to, almost like will-o-wisps appearing in the air.
Do you think the guy that he was working for maybe has sent some help?
Possibly. I mean, we know that the guy he was working for is not going to be happy that one of his minions has been contained even further.
Unbound.
Yeah, like he already wasn't happy that he was trapped inside Dante, getting trapped inside Dante and Dante's sword. This guy's going to be like,
we don't know. We don't know about that, but I'd imagine, say, at least when he was trapped in Dante, he had the power to get out now and then and do whatever his job was.
Yeah. There's the aspect of like,
weapon.
You've now taken away my possession. Whoever owns the Ifrit.
And as we come to Dante, and as almost like there's a ripple as the ritual finishes, and as the ritual finishes, the magic circles almost like they don't break, but there's almost like a fracturing, and the smoke clears out over the room. And Chris, if you would like to describe Dante as he kneels in the center of the magic circle.
So Dante has now got a very kind of sun-tanned glow across him. His hair is now is quite short and spiked. Like it's quite rough looking, but it's got tips that have now been burnt. His arm, though still very heavily scarred and blistered, is now kind of got it's got, say, like this like rings, like where the veins are now glowing almost like lava, and across, say, like again across part of his neck, it's almost partially stone, like where lava would hit water and has cooled. and that goes down his neck and down his chest. His eyes are now gold.
You would see Dante's form.
Sorry, Emma.
That's literally what I was just thinking.
Yeah. You would see Dante's form now, not the same like hybrid shift, but almost a more slender, more leaner creature.
And his hair is going to be more blondie ginger, not dark ginger.
Have you basically just designed your character to look like Junkrat now from Overwatch?
I've never heard of that, so I have no idea.
Actually,
blonde spiked hair with like fried tips on the end, almost like frosted tips, but flaming tips.
Yeah, to be honest, I was kind of trying to just make it avoid me saying it sounds like I've made a Super Saiyan.
Yeah, fair.
Like,
I think he just genuinely is wanting me to draw him a whole new picture. I think that's what it is.
Well, to be fair as well, there are also some mechanical changes.
I didn't necessarily know this was happening until Liam told me.
No, it's fine.
Mechanical changes as well. Ooh.
That's what Junkrat looks like. I've sent in the, and I actually genuinely think with the flaming heads and everything, I actually think it's pretty bob on.
I'm not necessarily.
What about the manic smile? Is that there too?
Definitely more. The black is not burned; it's stone and volcanic rock style. But yes,
and it is more hair-like. That is true.
Yeah.
So
I feel like right now, this second, after everything's happened, there is still a few little flames on the surface. But yes, mechanically now, and what we're going to do with this, to be fair, we can. I'll talk to you about it afterwards. Well, it's going to be a quick, easy shift. But Dante, you open your eyes, and first of all, there's almost like a weird shift in color movement as you now have dark vision.
Yay! One of us have dark vision.
Finally.
Can I get like thieves' tools as well, and then we're pretty much there?
No.
Liam's chuckle to them. No.
But there's almost that, like, like when you look through beer goggles and there's like that flexing of vision as you're not used to the sight as you look around. You would see the group just behind you, and just through like the haze of the magic circles, you can see the flames appearing in the air.
I think it's done.
I take it Dante's still chained to the floor, though.
Oh, yeah. I think it's done. It's bright.
How do we know, though, for sure? Do we know where he is?
Ichi lets the vines kind of like retract into him, very much like cactus spikes as they were like kind of all encasing around. They'll all kind of like come back in. Ichi will look at Dante, give a soft smile. You know the rules. You know to give in.
I'm going to pause you there very quickly because you're still in the niche.
You're still in the niche.
Still in the niche.
I am going to just turn around and be like, what's going on? As he's looking and he's seeing these specks of, like, probably because there's smoke and he's also disorientated. He's not going to necessarily know what's happening. Okay, and no one actually shouted anything. So
no. And top of the round is Eleni.
So, balls of flame. I was holding an action Liam, for creature of some description
and you
to come out of the.
You weren't knocked over,
and I wasn't knocked over.
So yeah, I'll say you can take a shot before.
Can I retro that that shot? Nat 20.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
Nat 20 for 28.
Okay.
Ooh! And I better get the crit table out.
Do damage first, see if it's
Kill
necessary.
Kill them all.
So that is 12 damage.
Is that before doubling or after doubling?
Oh, sorry, no.
Okay.
2d8, so that is 9, 18, 21 total.
Okay, so your arrow punches through one of the balls of flames that's appearing that just dissipate immediately.
Brilliant, okay. So that was my held action.
Now it's your turn.
Now it's my turn. Is there another one I can shoot?
Yep, there are two
How
more
many?
in the room.
2 more. Okay, let's shoot the next one. And actually, that would be in my ensnaring strike used.
I'll say that
as
it
well?
won't because of technical. Yeah, it would have been. Yeah.
It's okay. I'm
Yeah.
happy to lose that spell. So that second one was a 22 total.
Definitely hits.
Okay. For 11 damage.
Okay, that one still seems to be almost like it punctures like a hole through it, but the flame itself is still trying to manifest.
Okay. And third shot at the other one actually. That one.
Oh,
Get the table out.
Now we
I've
need
got
the
the table out. Yeah.
while that's happening, just a quick question. What are the golems doing? These are elementals.
They just haven't had a go yet. They joined the Inish when they shifted into the room.
I personally think that that this just means that I have a little breather. That
Yeah. What's the
it's basically they will be able to tell what I'm going to do next, and I've got -2 to my AC against the next attack against me.
Okay. Okay, so leaving yourself a little bit open in the moment as we
hang on though. So
Sorry,
that
go on.
was my actions. I just want to check bonuses and anything else, Liam. Sorry.
That's cool.
I am going to bonus action hidden step, which is my turn invisible thing. That's until the start of my next turn or until I attack somebody or do something.
Yep,
So
no worries.
shoot, miss wildly, turn invisible.
Okay, Ichi.
Ichi will pull the sword out as they kind of like stand up. Throw their hand down towards the floor where Dante is. You know to give in. I will cast Zone of Truth on the floor.
Okay.
So, Dante, you can either roll a charisma saving throw or you can let it wash over.
Nope.
And then for my free action of just talking, who is in control?
I am.
You bastard, give me a name! Give me a name, you piece of shit!
But no, he says I am because he knows it's meant to be Dante. But he's smiling with tears coming out of his face. Well, opposed to where else?
Well, that's it. You see the tears running down, but they're actually small streaks of hot, like almost steam pouring off out of his face.
It's me, Dante.
Ichi will use their movement to basically dive forwards, it's a great sword that you have, isn't it? Putting the great sword into your hands and getting ready to unshackle you for my next attack.
Does it cross the barrier?
Can I just say, I don't know, this is outside of the game, but how you know that it's out of him? How the fuck do you know that it's actually in the sword and stuck? How do you know that Tenebris is in the sword and you're handing the sword? Sorry, I'm going to shut up now. I'm like, what?
The whole point of this is
when
that
I said, has it worked? It wasn't, is it out of him? It's, is it in the sword and are we sure?
We're not sure yet. No, because
We're
No,
not
it's
sure.
all
No.
right. Give the
But-
sword back to Dante, and that's.
However, it does cross the magic circle because it is in the item, essentially. It's the item itself cannot be an elemental, if that makes sense.
It's like you guys have forgotten how bloody devious this man is. And I mean, Liam, not.
I was about to say, which one are we talking about here?
Yeah.
Like,
He's
but
literally
you
sat
move-
here grinning at us.
Not forgotten.
You-
Just leaning into the fact that my
Yeah.
character has average intelligence, higher wisdom, and is trusting his friend.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Move in. You put the sword down. Each as you go to, you haven't got an action to actually be able to touch the manacles yet. They're still white hot. And as you sort of get up and close, Dante is still giving off a bit of heat.
I'm going to say Dante right now in this moment is that there's actually complete blissful ignorance to everything, even the fight. He's completely unaware of really what's going on, but he feels lighter. He just feels it, not lighter, he feels clearer. Something he hears silence, which he feels like he hasn't had for centuries. But we'll get to that.
And Volu. Your go. So there's two of these floating flame balls left.
I'll see to get out of the first layer. Because I was doing last turn. So I'll take the 5 feet it takes to get out.
Mm-hmm.
And then I shall. Did I seal any attack them?
Yeah, you saw one of them puncture out the air, and then one of them take another arrow hit, but not.
Yeah, I'll toll the dead, the one that got the arrow hit.
Okay. No, an 11.
Does not succeed. Where are my D8s? Nine points of damage.
Okay.
Bottom.
The second flame out of existence with the ringing of the bell. You see the 3 golems double move to shift over to the third one, but aren't able to attack. They all just pile in towards it. As they're doing so, Demetrius shifts up, and you would notice they're starting to cast a proof from detection, and they're calling out whatever it is isn't here. It can see it here. And he's just trying to cast out to sort of protect the room from divination magic. Basically, we need to get the sword somewhere it can't see. They're gonna start that, but it's gonna take them a while. If you have any, he's like, "You've got any other ideas?" It's just beginning his cast. It's gonna take a minute. So he has 10
6
rounds.
turns. Or 10.
10.
Yeah.
10 rounds.
10 turns of casting. For him to
bag holding, but the sword's too big.
But it's in this room. We just need to get it out of this room, surely.
Well,
Maybe.
you would know.
Well, they'll see it outside of the
either
room.
way, you think that if they're scrying onto it or onto you, it follows you. But while you are pondering that, we come round to the flame ball's turn. So as the golems charge in, the ball of flame almost, you hear a little, as it begins to grow bigger, and as it slides open, Volu, you're the closest, and you're looking through a oval portal. For Aileni and Volu, so for Aileni, you're almost at a side of it. If you imagine, you can see the front and back of it.
Yeah.
You can tell it's a portal by the light change. There's almost a bronze light that hits Volu's face and changes the color of, coming from the portal. For Volu looking in, it looks like a grand throne room made of brass and flame in the background, and standing in front of you are you've seen them before, actually, corrupted and deformed Azir, the fire dwarfs, stacked in an almost like royal style armor, and a voice from the back says, "Fetch Tenebrís, and the one he was bound in." As you hear and they begin to step through. You see power shields and pole arms as they towards Volu and begin to towards Volu. The four as they step through and the portals closes.
These are infected.
Not infected. The last one you saw was
Corrupted.
infected. These are just legitimate Azir. For Volu, you've not seen it and you wouldn't have any recollection, but everything about that screamed the Brass City. In the background, through the windows, there was flames and flickering lights. All the adornings were like red and brass and bronze and all these different metal in that same vision of colour. The ones standing in front of you now bear almost like insignia on the chest plate that looks like it burns white hot. And Dante, as you're sort of laughing joyfully and looking over, you glance over to the new oncomers. That symbol, it's like if you imagine when you're in your cage in your mind, there's like a seal on the door.
Mm-hmm.
That's the symbol.
His smile suddenly, very quickly, wipes off. Fear strikes him. And would I have heard anything that came from the portal, or was that just Foley who heard that?
I would say you didn't. Everyone else would. So Ichi didn't. You basically, people in the center of the circle, it's almost muffled a little bit for you towards the center. So you would definitely have heard sort of a low booming voice emanate, but only Eleni and Volu heard it say, "Retrieve Tenebrís," and the one that was bound.
I've just seen the emblem. I'm just gonna say to each, just be like, "We need to get out of here now."
Liam, can I check?
Yes.
Did you say that the portal had been created from the last ball of fire that was floating in the air?
Yes, and as it disappears, there's no more ball of fire
more.
there. It like burns away completely.
But is there still fire coming through the crack in the wall?
No. That has stopped.
So they've been sent through to retrieve Tenebrís, but they've got no way back.
Not that you can currently see.
Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to clarify.
No, it's fully, yeah. And it is your go, so.
And it is my go.
Fully valid questions. You would see, for Eleni, these guys are about 15 feet away. They're on the other side of Volu. So if you imagine that they're not far from you, but Volu's within 5 feet of a pole arm sticking in his face right now.
I would like to cast Fairy Fire and try and catch all of them.
Yes, they
in
would
Fairy Fire, and I'm trying to
arranged it.
avoid catching Volu or the
Yeah,
golem.
they're almost stood in like they would be
And they all
ready to
step
shield
through
up
together.
for. Yeah, they're almost in like a formation, stepping forward, so easily can catch all 4 of them.
I'm assuming because I'm still bound in that I didn't get a turn.
Yeah, I basically I was describing what happened to you and all that sort of stuff on your turn,
Yeah, cool.
but obviously if no one's got to you to release you yet.
Yeah, no, I was just double checking.
So Fairy Fire is a dex save.
So only one of them succeeds. The first 3 of them begin to glow.
Okay, dex 15, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the 3 of them were like below a 10 and one of them rolled a 19.
Okay, no longer invisible. I would try and put myself at a better angle to them for me to shoot at them next round.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to look across to Ichi, see him giving Dante the sword, and say, Is it in the sword? Are you sure? That's my go.
Okay, Ichi.
As Ichi gets there, and these pulls are all kind of like happening and going, Ichi, like, kind of coming to a stop at where the chains kind of meet the floor, seeing that they're red hot, will stand, use the greatsword to stab into the ground where the red hot chains are, and kind of almost use the sword like a crowbar to try and carve through to let Dante out.
Do you not have the
Okay.
keys?
I'm not touching red hot chains.
Yeah,
Give me the keys.
maybe. But yeah, give me an advantaged athletics as you try and snap the large chain that's around Dante at the minute.
So, know that. Straight strength.
Athletics.
Athletics.
And you're not exhausted, are you?
No, I'm
Nope.
not. 22.
Okay.
13 plus 3 plus 6.
Yes, very nice. These chains are so thick, you don't snap them like clean like a ting. It's like it, and you have to wiggle back and forwards a little bit and stress it and push it and stress it. But over the action, you do break one of the large links, and it sort of slinks off. Dante, for you, obviously it's wrapped around you, so you're still sort of wrapped up, but you feel the pressure of, it was tight before. You feel that tightness sort of slink off. You still sort of need to spend an action getting yourself, because they tied it around your waist and around your arms, like they wrapped you up.
As that kind of happens, Ichi will turn their back to Dante, will unsheath their longsword and drop that at Dante's feet, holding onto the sword so far still.
Okay.
Power corrupts.
Pass
it into the fire!
Maybe a crit to save.
No. Thought Dante was bad when he was possessing that body. Now let's divine smite on top of
Dante,
fire.
excuse me.
Yeah, Tenebris. Volu, you'll go. Standing in front of you, 4 flaming bronze brass dwarves. I never remember the right freaking metal. Holding in breast, they'd be in full plate armor, tower shields, pole arms. This close Volu, you can see that one of them is holding looks like a cannonball.
Okay.
Is there a cannon nearby?
I mean, they are pretty much balls of fire, so...
No, this is the dwarfs, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're still made of fire, effectively, aren't they?
Well, their bodies are almost metal.
Mm.
Their hair and eyes and extremities are fire. If I can...
Are we about to get shot by balls?
I am going to cast... I'm going to take a tiny feather out of my pocket, throw it at my air and throw it forward. And I'm going to cast Wind Wall directly on them. Just trying to think of its position. Where am I in distance to them, and where is Eleni in distance to them?
So you're within 5 feet, Eleni's behind you, another 10 foot, and you're all sort of 15, 20 feet to the left of Dante. And where Dante and Ichi in the center.
I've got to be careful with this because
another picture in the thing here, so that's another.
Okay. Ginger Father Christmas.
Yeah, that's all fire.
But they do look like creatures, they're not just balls.
Yes, they are actual standing physical meat dwarves.
But they have ball. They're carrying a ball.
One of them is carrying a cannonball.
Okay.
So I'm gonna cast it. How high is the room?
Probably about 20 feet.
Okay, so I'm gonna, as I'm doing this, I'll shout to Eleni and say, "You need to wrap round," and then I'm gonna put it in the 5 feet between me and them, and have it be 10 feet long, so it's there in it, or 15 feet long. It could be up to 50, just to encapsulate them in it.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's going to be 15 feet high.
So you can either get the front. I imagine you're going to put it on the front too, but basically they're stacked like 2 and 2.
Yeah.
So if you're making it, because it's only 5 foot thick, isn't it?
No, it's 1 foot.
Okay,
I think you can make it 5 foot thick.
You can put it through them, but
it's 15 feet long.
Yeah, so it'll go in a straight line across you, right?
So I was going to do a straight line in front of me.
Yeah, so it would get the front 2 that have got like spears right in your face, but the 2 that are coming behind them, it wouldn't. It will block them, obviously, but it won't trap them in it. Does that make sense?
Which one's got the cannonball?
One of the ones at the back.
Okay, I'm not going to worry about the first 2 then.
You're just going to put the wind wall on him.
Yes, because when the wind wall goes on them, they've both got to make a strength saving throw, and any loose objects that they have is propelled into the air. And
that's actually, I actually fucking love that, man.
That's honestly,
if you don't have
nice.
it, take a bit of inspiration for this. I actually really, really like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
So the one holding the cannonball does actually succeed their strength save, but they have to let go of the cannonball in order to stabilize themselves as it fires off into the air. Paul, roll me a D8. See where it lands.
Please God, it lands on one of their heads.
Oh.
5.
So it actually, Volu, goes over your head and lands just behind you, sort of rolling near the edge of the circle. You would see, Volu, both of the ones, to be fair, that weren't, the ones that are your side of the wind wall, they immediately, like, fucking grab it, like, just straight up, like, they're speaking Dwarvish.
Which ones are glowing?
What do you mean?
All of them.
So the fairy fire made some of them glow?
So, the 3 of them are glowing. One of the ones near Volu isn't.
Okay, so the 2 behind are glowing and one of the ones in front. Right, okay.
Did he take damage as well, Volu, from being...
Did they
one
both
of them failed.
Oh, so the one that failed takes 3d8.
And does the other one not take half damage, or?
Damage, half, yeah.
Yeah, so just roll your 3d8 and then we'll do one gets full, one gets half.
12. So 12 and 6.
Okay, and as you would see... Sorry, go on, Bolo.
Do I, because I still have my bonus action, don't I?
Yeah, you still got that. I'll just say, it's also describing as the cannonball flies over you and sort of lands behind you in like a heavy...
Actually, you guys don't have bless, by the way, because wind wall is concentration.
No, that's fine.
Which does change what I was going to do, because the other thing I was going to do is concentrating. So I am going to ward. Can I ward myself? Can I cast Sanctuary on myself?
Yeah. Says a creature, I believe.
You ward a creature within range against an attack.
So basically,
no,
Paul,
Sanctuary is not.
The way to check, Paul, in terms of that, for just whenever you're reading, if your spell says another creature you can see, then it's not. If it says a creature, then it's just any creature you can see, and that includes you.
Yeah, so I'm gonna cast that on myself as my bonus action.
Okay, and not quite their turn, but you would see Volu, one of them sort of speaking between themselves. One of them pulls out a torch, basically. And as that cannonball is sort of rolling and rotating in place, all of you will see as it passes each of you in that sort of slow motion style, a fuse sticking out of the top of that cannonball.
Oh.
And that is where we will end this session.
We end with a bomb.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're going to break Tenebris out of prison. Thank you very much for watching. As always, thank you very much for listening. If you want to, and playing, and if you want to find out what's happened next, see what's happened to Dante and what's going to become of him now that he is free of Tenebris finally, then hit the like, subscribe, and notification bell so you know when the videos are coming out. And as always, rule well. Bye.